So first you're going to need a willow wreath, or even if you have a grapevine wreath, that will work. But this one is about 7 inches, 7 or 8. You know, they had a little bit adjusted the size. And then you're going to need these wire garland ties. I have 2 packages. You won't need 2 packages unless you want really long letters. And then your choice of Christmas ribbons. So, you know, the Dollar Tree has tons to choose from. So you go with whatever style you like. But you'll need 9 feet. So the first thing I want you to do is take a piece of paper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I figure out which way I want my wreath to go. Mine is sort of more oblong this way. And if you look at the back, there's always a starter or finish seam on one side, like there's one good side. And this is the good side. So what I'm going to do is just mark how long my wreath is so that I can make my other letters to match. Okay? Now, you can print letters, absolutely, 100%. You can print letters from the computer, from any Word program or any font pages. I'm just going to hand draw a rough letter J. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's, you know, you're going to wire it and it's going to have some give. I might curve it more this way when I go to make it. And then on the other side, we're going to make a Y. And the Y can just be half, and you could fold it in half and, you know, flip the template over. But I'm going to go ahead and make a letter Y. I'm making sort of a Times New Roman font. I kind of had that envisioned in my mind of what the letters would look like. So then we're going to take our wired garland ties, which I really didn't know what I wanted to do with these when I bought them, but I just thought of tons, like, you know, my brain was going crafty, crafty, crafty. So first thing I'm going to do is just run my hand back and forth. Not only will I get off any extra loose stuff, but I'm going to try to fluff it out a little bit. So the pattern that I envisioned, and just make sure that both all your continuous pieces go in one direction. Can you see that? How it's like an arrow almost pointing this way, okay? And I'm going to twist the ends together ever so slightly. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to form it around the J. That's why I said the J doesn't need to be perfect. I envisioned starting here, going around, ending here, going around this way, and ending here. So let's see if that works. Wasn't sure if I was going to need 3 for the J. So we're going to twist the ends together ever so slightly. You really could hot glue them together too, but I just like that reassuredness that comes with twisting. So so now we get it to lay flat. There we go. So now we have our J. We can fluff out, you know, wherever we think we need to fluff out. Zhuzh it, as I like to say. Okay, so that's the J. Now, I don't feel like it needs to be reinforced with any wire, but you could feel like if you feel like you want to reinforce it with any like this heavy wire, or even to wrap it around with some green floral wire, you can. And I may change my mind in a little while and decide that's what I want to do. Just a rough estimate, I think that I'm going to need the same amount. They're going to need at least 3, so let's chain 3 of them together. So once again, just taking 2 ends of opposite directions, folding them in opposite directions, folding them in opposite directions. When we open them, they've hooked onto each other. But all of the grass, all of the leaves are going in one direction. So we take 2 leaves of opposite directions, twist them together, fold both ends down across the other. Oop, that one moved. Down across the other, and then when we open them, they'll be hooked together, and then we can just fluff out the grass. Then we bend it out here, make that little fancy bottom, come back up the middle. Okay, so it does look like we're going to need a 4th, but the package is 12, and so far we've only used 6. This will be number 7, so it's definitely plenty to do with one package. And again, we just twist the wrong ends together and them back on themselves, so they kind of make 2 hooks. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm gonna twist the upright together. See, I've twisted this upright together so that it gives it a little bit more stability. Now this is gonna get glued to a ribbon, so you don't have to worry about it being so strong. But just you want it to hold its shape, to look like a Y, at least until you can get the pieces put together. And then I'm twisting the ends together, the front to the start to the finish. And now it's time to just play with it. Now remember, it's really a stiff wire in there. I don't know if you've purchased these already. Hopefully they still have them if you're at your Dollar Tree, if you haven't. But they really do hold up nice. So if you can see the middle spread, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist it like I said, I gives it a little bit more of a sturdy, stable. So I removed the black craft mat, and pardon my work surface. It's been beaten and abused. But I finished shaping the Y. Just following the pattern of any letter that you like. I like the little lines at the top and bottom. I like that. So next thing I've decided to do is I've decided to pick the ribbon with the deer on it. And I went ahead and I just tied a simple bow at the top, just like you were tying your own shoelaces. Okay, and I've tucked the tail in the back, and I hit it with a dot of glue just to keep it out of the way for now. You want to go ahead and just, it's wire ribbon, so it's really very, very forgiving, and just play with it until you get the way you like it. And then you want to dry fit your letters. You want to see if all your letters are going to fit down the ribbon. Now, if you went with a standard 7 or 8 inch wreath and you made your letters that big, you'll have plenty of room since it's 9 feet. But you want to go ahead and dry fit if you want, you know, if you feel it's necessary. I did. So you're going to want to go ahead and glue down your J. A touch of hot glue here and here. It would make sense that you'd think we'd put the J straight down the ribbon with the body of the J, but then it will be not symmetrical because a J's long line is not in the middle. So then next we're going to add our wreath. Remember, we're going to get the good side. So if a wreath has a bad side, which is usually the ends of the willow, and then it'll have a good side. Not the grapevine wreath so much, but the willow wreath, they try to do that. And like I said, mine looks like it's an oblong shape, which almost gives it the illusion of an O. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I like that spacing. And I'm going to give this a lot of glue, because to hold this willow wreath, I may also fasten it in the back. I haven't decided yet. With maybe wire or something. So the reason I like this lap board is from IKEA. I'm sure it's got a crazy Swedish name, and it's got a cushion underneath it that you can wash and stuff. But it's a very forgiving mat. I've cut, painted, varnished. I've done just about everything on here, and glued too. So the glue peels up pretty nicely from it, which is one of the reasons that I do enjoy using it for these projects. Yeah, my glue gun's probably older than most of you youngins who are watching this. And again, we're going to give plenty of glue right there to hold down this other end of the wreath. And we want to make sure it's centered and the ribbon is as flat as possible. Just little things like that that make, you know, they say God is in the details. Little things like that that make it more special than just dollar store. I'm just going to give it a second to set. Okay. And actually it looks like the top needs a bit more, which, like I said, you can always go back and add. Okay. And now we're going to lay down our Y. Now our Y, like our J, unlike our J, excuse me, the body of the Y is going to go down the center of the ribbon, which will hold it nicely. And now, is it overkill? I don't think there's such thing as too much hot glue. So we're going to hold down the body, and then we'll go back and we'll reinforce the arms. But now take the time, take the second or two or minute or two to make sure that your arms are where you want them before you glue them down. Oops. It wants to move with me. And then now's the time to determine how much of a tail you want on the bottom. I like to do Martha Stewart taught me. You fold your ribbon in half, decide where you want your little tail to go, and you cut high on the inside, low on the outside. So let's see. Fold in half, high on the inside, low on the outside, and you automatically have a beautiful tail in no time. Okay. So now it's time to embellish. Okay, so now optional is to decorate the wreath, which is the O. I have a bunch of different, these birds were from the Dollar Tree. I have some old picks left over from last year and the year before. I just kind of, if I get a flower arrangement, I save the accoutrement or buy some over the years and only use parts of it. So what I think I'm going to do is, you know, you can play with it, whatever you like, but I think I'm going to take these holly leaves off, this bird off, these holly leaves, this greenery. You could cut it, but I just always, you know, I just rip it. It's just only taped together on there anyway, so. And then what's left with is the berries. Okay. And what I was thinking I would do is just make a little arrangement right here in the corner of the O. I'm thinking that's probably what I would like to do. So again, you can do whatever you like. Do whatever you see fit for yourself. It's a very, crafting and decorating is very personal. If you ever opened a decorating magazine, you would see no two designers have the same look. There are people who have similar, you know, similar influences. So you might have somebody who really likes the French country. They decorate French country, and they like people that decorate in French country like that. So you might see somebody who has a style as similar as to other, you know, different designers, but for the most part, everybody's individual. Or else we would just be copying each other, and that wouldn't be anything unique and fun. Just gonna cut the end off of that. There's no wire in this anymore. There's plastic. Let's see. Just stick a little down here. And then I really do like this little red bird. I think he brings out the red in the ribbon. He is wired. And I'm just going to use my scissors, not to cut it off, but to pull it out, so I don't have to get up and get my pliers. Just have the scissor available. Yeah, I really like him. I think I'm going to put him just right there. Hold him down for a minute. As I squished his poor little body. Ah, squish my little body. He's looking like he's wanting more hot glue. There we go. You know, when the hot glue sticks to the strings, it's very easy. There's a couple of different tricks. You could just sit here and pull them. You could hit it with a hot hair dryer or a heat gun, and it will melt them. They'll kind of shrink into themselves and disappear. But I think I want to do a couple of these as well. I think just hidden. I'm just going to cut off the extra plastic and stick them back here behind this one leaf. So what I said on my haul video, if you haven't watched that, that's the Dollar Tree haul video from 12/5, that I was actually went into the Dollar Tree looking for a grapevine wreath and only found the willow, but I think it looks really nice with the willow too. Don't be afraid to go with what you got. You know, I live in an area that has Walmart, Dollar Tree, and that's it for craft stores. I mean, it has one independent sewing shop that has very few craft things, but they're also a little bit more out of my price range. So I have pine cones and I have other leaves. I'm thinking that's all I want for the O. I think that the O looks nice. What I think I'm going to do still is take some of these other accoutrements and decorate the top of the bow. So I showed you earlier that, excuse me, let's turn it over. I glued the extra little tail to the back, but I'm going to secure it more now on the bottom because it's going to create the holder, the hanger, excuse me. So what I've done is I've left a loop, as you can see where my thumb is coming through. I've left a loop to hang on the door. So I just want to make sure I secure this bottom really well to the front. Okay. And now, so earlier we talked about just fluffing the wire. It's one of the great things about wire ribbon is that you could just fluff, fluff, fluff. So there's a couple of different things I have here that I'm going to just take a look and see which. I don't think extra bow is necessary, but I was thinking about these red sparkly leaves that I had left over from a gift. Oh, these are wired. So if you don't have a wire cutter, I wish you should have seen me do that. I'll do it again so I could show you. First I'm going to tuck these under the bow. I think that's what I want to do. If you don't have a wire cutter and you're cutting floral, one of the tricks you can do, because I didn't always have a wire cutter available, is I take my scissor and I cut through the plastic and I just spin it. What I'm doing is I'm scoring the wire just ever so slightly. I'm not pressuring on the scissor, and then all you do is bend it back and forth and it just snaps off. I mean, it's really the best way to do it without creating, you know, ruining your scissor or, you know, using too much effort. So all I'm going to do is move this one leaf to the top so it looks like it's its own stem, not the bottom of a stem. Just little touches like that that make it, you know, when you have inexpensive materials, there's things you could do to make it more like expensive materials. And we're going to glue this here under this bow knot. Okay, and I think I'm going to put a pine cone on there, and I was looking around and I think that's my favorite pine cone right there. And I just popped it right off of the wire. So I'm going to give it a good dollop of glue right on its end and put it right on the knot. Okay. And now we're going to go hang it on the door and see what it looks like. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a Merry Christmas.